Taken away from here is the performance equation. You've got to be have a little bit of talent, but you've got to be trainable. You have to have the right thoughts and the right attitude, and you've got to have the behavior. You've got to put together the behavior and then perform and then take away the opportunity. And so that leads on to my 30-day commitment, which is to have 10 interviews every day, and then doing that by making a good, solid plan, and then sticking to that plan.
Wanda, you came to NFIB originally because of your belief in NFIB as a member. Excuse me. Your passion and your belief will be obvious to business owners if you share the story of NFIB with them, and will carry you a long way in your career.
Thanks, guys, Patriots. Thanks for not kicking me on Candyland when I was cheating and getting confused. But it's been a pleasure working with both of you. Thanks for giving me all the right answers so I could look smart when I talked in front of the group. I appreciate that. So let's see, Dean, come on down.
I guess the biggest thing that I got out of the week is the sense of team that I got from being here. It's you and your kid, me and my kid. When I'm out there, a lot of the time you do have some people in your division and you have your manager, but to see all you here and you're facing the same situations I'm facing on a daily basis, and then your willingness to get together and try to help each other, to help me, is very encouraging. To see Randy up here after 20 years and for him to display the kind of passion that he still has for his job, the biggest thing I took out of it, Randy asked a very pointed question, and he asked, why do you do it? And to me, that's, I took it right in and I asked myself, why do I do this? And it hit me like in Cinderella Man. I don't know if it's a movie that you've seen or not, but the fighter comes back the second time around and they ask him, you know, what's different? And he says, I know what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for milk, you know, for his kids. And the reality is that's what it has to be, and I believe that's where the passion and belief comes from to do your job. Getting back to my 30-day commitment, it's about getting the number of interviews. I know that I work in a rural area like some of you guys, and you're traveling, but the planning is going to help me get those interviews. And I want to up my interviews and get to the point where I know I'm going to have a better closing ratio if I get those interviews. So thank you to everybody. Appreciate it.
Dean, thank you for being on my team again. And I guess the big thing I got from Dean by sitting by him is, you know, I find myself down in Alabama complaining, you know, if it rains, and I think it might have rained 4 times in my 7-month career so far. And I asked Dean, how do you handle it in Minnesota with the snow and the wind and the cold? And he's like, get out and do it. So I'm going to take that away and remember you when it's raining in Alabama and 80 degrees.
I guess what impacted me the most, I mean, the whole week has been an impact as far as getting, you know, to hear some of the ways of handling objections and get to actually finally meet Randy Karshner, who's, of course, a legend within the sales field, and everybody talks about him. But the thing that really impacted me is actually just the fellowship with other people in our profession. You know, like Dean said, as you get out and yes, it's you and your kid, but at the same time, as we do have a sense of teamwork, you know, we're all fighting for the same goal. You know, we're fighting for our small business owners to make sure that they have an impact on what's going on, you know, at the state and federal levels of government. You know, we have a purpose, and in that purpose, even though we're all by ourselves in our cars doing the same thing, we're all still a team together. And I think that that was just, I guess, the belief in NFIB is what's impacted me the most, is being able to really, truly understand what we do and why we do it. As far as my 30-day commitment goes, I've always done a weekly plan. I go into Sims and I'll print out for the week, and that's pretty much it. And I feel like what would help me to actually achieve more goals is to focus on a nightly plan. you know, really set down and set my plan for the next day of who I'm going to see first, you know, what times, and go through the course of the day. So that brings into the, you know, 10 to 12 interviews. You know, I feel like working on a nightly plan rather than a weekly plan will allow me to get my 10 to 12 interviews for a day. So that's my goal for the 30 days.
James, I really enjoyed sitting here listening, you know, talking and everything. I really respect your professional and your ability to bring in those big sales and just inspire me to reach your goals.